Ling and Gino Franti.
All right, fasten your seatbelts. We're going to dive right into this. Go to donandgino.com, click on the Listen Chat Live, because you're going to want to watch this segment and listen to it live. Again, this is live with Rob Schwartz, Total College Planning, and with Princeton Review, and he's going to dive into two top subjects that are important to you today. And let's jump into what we teased up a little earlier about the importance of a college essay.
All right,
actually, entrance essay, I guess you can call it.
You can, absolutely. College essay, entrance essay, they're really the same thing. Guys, when we talk about what are the values inherent in a yes or no decision at schools like the University of California, we're looking primarily at 5 things. We're looking at the curriculum you took. Did you challenge yourself in the class? Did you get good grades? How do those SATs and ACTs look? PrincetonReview.com if you're not sure you're doing well.
There you go. PrincetonReview.com if you didn't hear that.
4th is going to be your essays, and 5th are going to be those extracurricular activities that you've been doing both in and outside of school throughout your time in high school. Well, guess what? Those extracurricular activities that you've been doing for 3 or 4 years, they are your essays. They are the interesting things that you've done outside of the traditional learning environment. And it's really, really important to jump off the page when you have 500 words to essentially explain why someone should care about you, and they've read 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 essays and applications in one day. And you don't get to choose whether they're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 9 a.m. with their first cup of coffee, or it's 1 a.m. and they're sitting by the fireplace and all they want to do is go to bed and they have to read this essay and this application. You don't know where you fall. So you better be interesting and jump off the page right off the bat.
I can honestly say our godchild, basically, we kind of adopted one of our friend's daughters over the years, and she had a phenomenal grades through school, worked really hard, but she did look at all of her options and wrote a phenomenal essay, actually won like some major contest out here in California, and then utilized that to get a full ride. Her cost to go to Iowa, 15 cents.
Cents?
Cents, 15 cents. We saw the statement. That's all she has to pay.
But that's less than a postage stamp.
Exactly.
Take us back to the good old days.
But she did do college planning. She was prepared for the test. Her mom actually does the same thing as you do. You know, you've actually met Marcia. And it changed how she prepared for her essay, how she prepared for her SATs and ACTs and all that type of stuff, and she killed it. And it actually had so many great choices of schools to go to that it became a great experience for them.
I think what you just said is really important. For those of you listening at home or in the car, this doesn't have to be painful. All the stories you hear and all the people you see running around at the last minute in a panic, it doesn't have to be this way. Planning begins early and it begins often, but if you do it the right way, guys, this should actually be a fun, cathartic experience for you and your child.
You know, we talk about the same thing, huh, Gino, in the home buying experience, where you hear nightmares of people buying homes, not getting homes, having a nightmare with the financing, and not being able to close on time. It doesn't have to be that way. I know with our incredible team at Cherry Creek Mortgage, we make it a pleasurable experience. They come here, ring the victory bell, getting in their home excited. Our surveys are 99 out of 100 across the board are 10s, because of the same thing you provide is a wonderful experience by being prepared and planning and having great advisors behind them, so that we eliminate all these pitfalls that they don't see coming. And you do that a lot by raising all these great questions you've raised today. It's phenomenal. I'm like, I didn't think about that. Gino's going, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure you can tell that he's Rob's very confident in what he does. He knows what he does well. And that's the same thing we do here, Don. When you're confident in the advice you're giving someone, and you can tell someone you're not ready, or no, that's not a good idea. That's what being a professional is about. When you're new in the industry, you're so afraid to lose a transaction, you don't do that. You know, so when you become seasoned,
you don't do your job.
Yeah, well, you don't know what your job is, right? In all fairness, when you're young in any industry, it doesn't matter. If you haven't done your 10,000 hours, you're probably not really, really good at anything. So ultimately, once you become a professional, you're confident enough to tell people and advise people on what they should and shouldn't do. And once you reach that level, then you can take all the pain away because you can give them great advice. And I know that's what you do, Rob.
That's the idea. I can't say that every single person is going to get into the school of their dreams, but gosh, every single one of the kids I have ever worked with in 5 years has had amazing choices across the board, and that has included schools all across America at all different price points where they are guaranteed, if they put the time in, will get a world-class college education.
All right, how can they get a hold of you again, Rob? Because this is a value to you. Again, we only bring value to you at the Don and Gino Real Estate Finance Show every Thursday. And Rob, you are definitely adding value. Love for our listeners to have the opportunity to gain value and support from you. How can they get a hold of you?
Give me a call anytime, 818-359-3779. It rings in my pocket.
Okay, how about a website they can get a hold of you at?
They can certainly visit my friends at Princeton Review, princetonreview.com, and we've got every service under the sun, including an organization called CollegeWise, which also does what I do, which is provide great service for students all across America.
All right, very good. All right, let's have some fun now. We've been teasing a little bit about the, it's football season. Woo!
Kickoff!
So we got a big kickoff, and Rob has figured out how to leverage a great cause that he's been behind, and I'm fortunate to be on the board of, the Schwartz Scholarship Fund, and we put a lot of effort into it. Rob has created this to basically help those that, in the industry that you're in, which is really cool, but you figured out how to have some fun with it too. And actually, I love the idea that you put behind this, because it's actually really easy too.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate you mentioning the Schwartz Scholarship Fund. As a matter of fact, we just gave away our 3 scholarships for the year. We're very, very excited to sponsor our students who are traveling all across America this year, and to make their cost of attending college a little bit cheaper. We're really, really glad and supportive, and we can't thank you guys enough for your support to make those dreams come true. What we are doing is offering our own version of fantasy football, but it's really for the person who doesn't have the time to play fantasy football.
Me.
The idea is you pick your team. There is a given budget, and as much money as you spend on your team, you send that check in to the Schwartz Scholarship Fund. Hey, how many times do you get to write off a fantasy football contribution? You do this time.
Oh, nice.
It's a really, really easy way to play. You don't have to make any changes to your lineup from week to week. Everything is handled for you. All the scoring is updated on our website every single week. And there are some terrific prizes that we're giving away this year to the top 2 people who finish in the money.
So I'll chime in on this, because I've always had the dream of playing fantasy football, but I didn't have the time. And last year was the first year that I did participate because it looked easy. The great news is it was easy, and I got to about week 10 or 11, and I was still kind of in the running. And then after that, I got smoked. But
yeah, who beat you?
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, let me throw that out for everyone listening here who is a loyal Don and Gino supporter. The champion of the 2013 Schwartz Scholarship Fund Fantasy Football League was Don Getling.
How about that?
So I'm
it was a
challenging
blast too.
anyone
To
who
beat
is
me.
in earshot of my voice to visit schwartzscholarshipfund.org, click on the events page, and take a look and see how you can get involved. Tonight at 5:30 is the start of the NFL season, so there's not much time to get things done. You got to get it done tonight. But please help me take down Don Getling. I cannot let him repeat again this year.
There's a long line behind you, by the way, because I know our whole office here at Cherry Creek Mortgage is involved, and their main goal is to take my you-know-what down and bring it home.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we win or not, just to get better than him. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, and what's cool, Rob, is you put it is the easiest fantasy football you'll ever play, but because it's so easy, it's actually really competitive, because you don't have the challenge of going against those guys that really live and breathe it, and you're like, oh, I missed that draft, I missed that waiver, I missed the injury report.
Right, or like, the last couple of
Seriously.
days there were some suspensions. If you didn't know, if you're not watching that stuff,
Which you and I don't.
no time. I just found out by mistake this morning because somebody was talking about it. I was like, oh, really glad I didn't pick him.
All right, so how can they get on this again?
Visit our website, Schwartz, SCHWARTZ, scholarshipfund.org. Click on the events page, and the link will be at the very bottom of the page.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And thank you for the great information today about our UC systems, the challenges that we're going through in California, but the options for so many students, ways to handle the essays and make the whole college planning process easier and actually a pleasurable experience. And then, of course, sharing the fantasy football with the Schwartz Scholarship Fund. You knocked it out of the park, buddy.
I appreciate it. I always enjoy visiting you guys. I look forward to my next visit, and thank you again for hosting us. We really
All
appreciate
right.
it.
One more
Thanks,
time,
Rob.
how to
And
get a
most
hold of you.
818-359-3779.
And what email?
Okay, sure. My first initial R, my last name Schwartz at review, REVIEW.com.
Very cool. Reach out to Rob. He'll guide you in the right direction. Thank you for being part of our show. We got another hour coming up in our real estate hour with Erica Kozlerich-Bird. You'll love what she's got to share with you. Don't go away.